So I'm going to say something controversial here. The MP5 is not that great. Hi, I'm Wolfrun, and before I get on with the main video, I'd be really grateful if you could leave me a sub, a like, or a comment on this video, as it's huge support as I'm just starting out on YouTube. Now, see, I'm not saying that the MP5 is a terrible gun. It's a good gun, and I understand it's part of the meta of really close range weapons that really work in both in multiplayer and in Warzone. But I just don't think it's that good, especially when you compare it to some of the other options available. In particular, I think there's no real comparison between using the MP5 and the M4. That being said, you've obviously got to do the camo grind if you're on the road to Damascus, and that's part of what this series is about. So the MP5 is part of that. Usual rules apply for the SMGs. Do it in hardcore. Actually, the MP5 is great in hardcore, it's absolutely fantastic in hardcore. But in regular modes, in core modes, I just don't think it's that good. Because I'll go through the various setups you can have for it. We're looking both at long shot setups and just the regular setups, as well as a setup you can use in Warzone. But when you compare it to the M4 setup for a speed ADS version of the M4, I just don't think it compares. I just don't think it can hold up. Equally, when you look at it, alright, it's got a faster time to kill than the MP7, but the MP7 has much more controllable recoil, whereas the MP5 really doesn't. At any range that's more than just right in front of you, it's quite difficult to control. Even with some attachments that help that, the difficulty of the MP5 is you have quite a big jump between the first bullet and the second bullet. Even if you're aiming at upper chest, you can risk even trying to control it, having your next shot go over the person's head, and that really does diminish its effectiveness. I think, personally, the M4 is better, the MP7 is better. Don't get me wrong, MP5 is fun, play in hardcore shipment, and you'll absolutely dominate, as you can see from the footage I've given. The first thing in respect to the attachments is forget any form of muzzle attachment. You don't need it. What you need to use is the monolithic integral suppressor as part of the barrel attachment. J-God's got a great video on this. I'm not going to go through the details of it. Can't say that I've done the testing. I use a monolithic on the basis of what he's set out there, and it's fantastic. So I'll leave a link in the description below. Go check it out. Now, depending on the setup you want to use, especially on close quarters, it's either the 5mm laser or the tac laser in my view. If you're going to be expecting to do a lot more hip fire and that type of engagement, then it's the 5mm laser. The tac laser is really the laser I think to use with this, because you want to ADS, because you want to be able to control the recoil, and you want to do it very quickly. You want to be able to basically snap onto those headshots as quickly as possible. So that's when this gun really excels in itself. As soon as you're missing your shots, as soon as you're dropping your shots into the body, you're going to find that you're going to be outgunned. And the tac laser is the thing that really helps you with that. Obviously, if you're doing the camo challenges and you're going after hip fire kills, throw on the Merc foregrip, throw on the 5mm laser. Those are the things that are going to help you do that. I don't run a sight for the MP5 except if I'm trying to do long shot kills. If I'm trying to do long shot kills, I run the GI Mini Reflex, pretty much my go-to sight for any of the SMGs. I don't really like running any for zoom sight. I don't like any of the other sights. The GI Mini Reflex has got an absolutely tiny surround, so it blocks out the least, gives you a really clear picture, nice red dot. I don't view anything else as necessary. If you were wanting to go for something that's a bit more zoomed for long shot kills on the bigger maps, then it's the VLK is my view, and that's what I would use. In respect of the stocks, there are several things that you could use depending on what you're trying to do. The go-to stock for most people's loadouts is the FTAC collapsible, because of the significant benefits to ADS speed. I'm not entirely convinced, but I think it makes the recoil almost unmanageable, meaning the first couple of shots are quite difficult to land. It does mean it's a very fast gun. It's a very fast gun with that. And when I'm in Warzone, I'll certainly use the FTAC collapsible on my MP5 as my secondary close-up weapon. But in the multiplayer game, I sort of vary between the close quarter stock, which I quite like. If you have a go with it, you'll see what I mean. It gives you more control, but you've still got some decent ADS speed. The alternative also, when you're going for long shots, you might want to try the classic straight line stock, because that just gives a little bit more help. I'm not saying it's great. I don't think there's a huge difference between the options, except with the FTAC collapsible. No, I'm no fan of the forged tack stock, but those are the options there. Really play around with it and see which you prefer. I don't run a perk on this, but if you were doing the reload challenge, for example, I certainly would put on sleight of hand and lose one of the other options just to get through that camo challenge. With ammunition, I run the 45 round mag pretty much exclusively on all my loadouts. In shipment, you need it all the time because you're frankly in constant gun battles. Reloading generally means you're going to probably get killed. In Warzone, you need it because you just need it to be able to down your enemies and thirst them if you need it. And on long shots, you need it to be able to just take down people. 30 round mag's fine, but if you're going to do that, then you might want to consider the 10mm rounds. The 10mm rounds do come with huge detriment in terms of the recoil. I don't frankly use them. I don't see that they have a massive improvement in terms of their damage compared when you're using the monolithic integral suppressor and the 45 round mag. Again, something to mess around with if you prefer, but certainly I think the 45 round mag is the thing to use. Finally, in terms of the underbarrel attachment, you do need something to help with the recoil. I use the Ranger foregrip. There is really, in my view, choice between the Ranger foregrip, the Merc foregrip and the Operator foregrip. As always, with pretty much any weapon, don't bother with the tactical foregrip, complete waste of a use of an attachment. There isn't too much side-to-side recoil on the MP5. The real problem is that initial kick upwards. I find that the Ranger foregrip really helps with that. The Operator foregrip to a lesser degree, it's not the foregrip I've certainly used. I pretty much always use the Ranger foregrip. Again, if you're going for hip fire kills or you want a bit more control, the Merc foregrip can help, but there are penalties in terms of the ADS speed. Generally, I find this loadout that I've set out works really well in that you can ADS really fast, you can use it really fast, but you can stay on target as well and snap between targets, which is the key with this weapon. So now for the bit that's a bit more controversial. I think the M4 is the better gun. I think if you had a choice between the two, really the M4 is it, even in shipment, even in close quarters, because the M4 can be set up that way. Here you've got some footage, same map, shipment, core mode, using the M4, look at them side to side, side by side. The M4 is the better gun. It can snap on pretty much just as fast. It kills faster. It's easier to control the recoil. It's better in every way. I just think it's better. And so I'm not entirely convinced what the reason would be to run the MP5. Now maybe in Warzone I get it. You're going to need to use an M4 that's set up for much longer distance. And the MP5 works as a good secondary because you're not sharing the ammo. But if you're going to use a long distance AR, then you're going to use a Grau in my view over the M4. The M4 is just a great close quarters gun. Anyway, there's my controversial opinion. Check out my other videos. Thanks.